BRUCAST is back, baby.
This BRUCAST episode is brought to you by the BRUCAST Store. Explore a store filled with awesome goodies from hoodies to t-shirts to mugs. We've got you covered. Stay in style with BRUCAST. Embrace the shock, set the trend. Visit now brew-cast.com/store. Link below.
Back with the fire, can't you see the flames? From Deutschland steps comes the BRUCAST name. Voices like thunder breaking all the chains. Unleash the fury like a runaway train.
Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to another BRUCAST episode. If it's your first time watching the show, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rate the show 5 stars. This will ensure that the podcast recommends to even more people and allow me to keep doing what I love. BRUCAST also on Instagram, X, and TikTok, where I upload shorts with the highlights of the show. So follow now, BRUCAST on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Links in the description below.
Here we thrive, we survive.
Hey there, BRUCAST fans! Happy New Year! Welcome to the first BRUCAST episode of 2026. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. Thank you so much for being a fan. And if you're not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. That would be amazing. Leave a like and also leave a comment. I want to know what you thought about today's episode. I want to see some engagement in the channel, so comment away. All right, guys, so without further ado, let's welcome our first guest of the year. His name is Jeremy Yang. How are you doing, my friend?
Good, buddy. How are you? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you good, man. Thank you so much for being here.
No, great to be here, man. It's great to be here. Great. I didn't even think about that. The first episode of the year, bro. I love it.
Yes, it's a very special one.
Cool. Amazing. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm great. So guys, so just to know, before we started, he compared me to Joe Rogan. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling it, man. Yeah.
Jeremy, what about we start with introductions?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess we'll talk more about my history coming up. But my name is Jeremy Yang. I run a ads agency from Sydney. Been doing it for about 7 years. The highest ranked in Sydney in terms of Google reviews, most recommended. Currently doing quite well, and just getting our name more out there. So going to connect with people like you and other podcasters to talk more about what we do and how we help small businesses.
All right.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So online ads. How did you get interested on that?
Yeah, we got interested on that so I did a completely different business before. I was in like more of a, what a trade is? So is that how you refer to it in Germany? Like what, like a tradesperson, like electrician, plumber, what do they call it in Germany?
I have no idea.
What do they call this? Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Like, people that works with their hands kind of thing. Yeah. So anyway, I did that for most of my life, and then I went back into university to do a business degree out of everything, actually. And then out of the 4 starting subjects in university, marketing just happens to be one that I stood out a lot compared to others. And then when I went back into the workforce, marketing I discovered was really slow in making people money, like in general. And the only sub niche that made people money quickly was advertising. Because I was like very, very hungry for results, and I knew businesses wasn't sticking around for 6 to 9 months for results. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, let's get into this thing. And yeah, got into this thing, didn't realize how super competitive the industry was and how kind of shady it was. So I try to stand out a bit by just doing the right thing. So yeah, when that's going okay.
Whoa, you got me interested with the shady part. What do you mean by that?
Well, you have to, in the world of advertising, like especially in the world of online advertising, to win accounts, you kind of got to overpromise a little bit.
Okay.
And a lot of characters around that. So, I mean, do you know much about like real estate and all that? Like buying, like selling properties, that kind of thing?
I mean, I know the basics, right? I never sold any
Yeah.
property, so.
Yeah. Basically, so just say that you're a real estate agent, right? Selling property. So for you to win the account from people who you try to sell the property, you try to win that account from, you're gonna have to overpromise a little bit on how much you can sell their property for, right? You might say, hey man, somebody wants to pay 1.5 mil for this place, and the agent that comes in with the highest kind of quote tends to get the job.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be like, and then after you get the job, after the paperwork signed, you kind of rematch the expectation a little bit, So then it's too late. You come down to 1.3. You say, oh, I found a problem here. I found a problem there. So in advertising, so bringing back to advertising, it's kind of the same thing. You have to overpromise how much returns they can get from it.
I mean, either way, there's going to be some return, right? Because as far as I understand, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy, in today's age, it's impossible to stand out if you don't have any sort of advertising, online advertisement.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, it's I mean, advertising itself there is a bit of importance. But we're talking about, so I agree with you, and I'm talking about returns as in like real dollar figure, not just publicity or branding, but more like $1 into the engines, how much return I'm going to get from coming out of it.
Yeah,
that type of returns. Yeah. So just say for e-commerce business, you say, well, if I give you $3,000 to advertise, how much would you, how many sales am I going to get? Right. So the guy that calls out the highest number usually will get the job, and then he'll figure it out later, kind of thing.
But isn't that a little bit unfair on you? Because if the guy is selling a shitty product, how can you promise him, you know what I mean, that you're going to give him some revenue if his products aren't good to begin with? So how do you assess that? How do you decide that it's actually going to sell?
That's a really good question. Because in that sense, what you really have to do is work for things that already have momentum. That's what you have to do. Like if somebody came to you and they say, oh, I have a drop shipping product, I have an idea and everything, or whatever, you wouldn't be that excited about running advertising for them because it's most likely not going to work. Yeah. So yeah, I'm being real. So what are we looking for in terms of advertising? If something's already it's already starting to turn, and you're just throwing flame like gasoline on fire. That's what advertising is the best for, right?
I see. So
that's the advertising. Yeah, sorry, good.
No. So I cut you. Go ahead.
No, so that's what we're looking for. There are businesses that really help those startups and all that, but the amount of money you're going to require to get help at that stage, it's tremendous because it's just a concept. It's an embryo. What they call it in gaming when that's that. In your industry?
We call it a prototype, maybe.
Okay.
Or just like the vision.
Expensive?
Yeah, it's super expensive depending on the prototype. It's expensive, yeah.
Do you guys have like MVPs, like minimum viable product kind of thing? Because my friend was telling me all about that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to disclose. I'm gonna try to disclose the most as I can, because one thing about those game industries, Jeremy, we see to sign so many NDAs. It's crazy.
Oh, okay.
But this I'm allowed to share. We do develop minimum viable products. It's like, just for the audience who is listening is not fully familiar with the concept, is basically the name is there, right? Minimum viable product is basically maybe a level of the game that fully works and you have all the mechanics in there. Just is a proof of concept, in other words.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm mixing things up. The minimum viable product is the minimum product. Is like a product that you can ship, that you can launch, right? Yeah. And then you can build upon that. I mixed up both things, and Anyway, I'm getting all confused here. But we do have those things, yeah.
No, my friend was explaining to me how I'm using the word MVP wrong because he said, what you have is a prototype. It's not an
Oh
MVP.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like MVP is working, buddy. MVP is ready, like some type of level. And I always wondered what the MVP looks like in gaming. That's why I mentioned it. Yeah.
But we do have them, yeah, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah,
for
yeah. So,
every game is different, right? There's so
yeah.
many
No,
different. Yeah.
for sure, for sure. So I was just saying how, like, getting back to the thread, I was saying that, yeah, you want businesses that's not in the MVP stage. You want the businesses where they kind of like on the cusp of scaling, right? The best businesses, like as a marketing, as an advertising person, the best businesses you looking as a client is people who hasn't worked out with another advertiser, like with another advertising manager. So they already know the ropes. They already know, you know what I mean? Like they say, all right, cool. I know what realistic means now.
Mhm.
Whereas if they've never had that advertising before, the expectations like through the roof. Like, yeah, yeah. So that's you. So you kind of got to battle that as well.
So, for example, if you have like a random uncle who just approaches you with this cool idea of this new type of Tinder,
No,
okay, no chance.
no. Well, I think that there are people who can service them a lot better than I can service them. You know, because like there's like the stages of I forget the author's name, but he's talking about different people who's good at different stages of a project. Some people are very good at ideating. Some people are good at once like, or some people even before that. Some people can like come up with problems out of thin air. Like they will go, I said, wouldn't it be cool if that happened or whatever? And then the next person, like some people will be great at coming up with an idea on how to fix that. And the next stage is somebody who can discern if an idea is good or not, right? So my superpower is discerning whether you have something viable or not. Yeah. And then the next part is, somebody who comes and rallies the troops and gathers steam on it. And then somebody who actually works on it. And the last stage is somebody who's a finisher. Who, you must see that in your industry. 100% you must see it, right? People coming at the end who can just push the thing out.
Yeah.
And get it ready for the market kind of thing, just sign off for like, just really be strong at the end parts of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're totally right. I'm just like running through some names in my head, and they all fit one of the categories that you mentioned for sure. I mean, if you fit them all, you're like a genius, basically. You're like a visionary.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're like a visionary that can do it all. So my thing is about discerning, like figuring out if your idea is any good or not. I'm not very good at gathering troops, even though I do have a big team now, and I'm good at follow through. And that's actually what's required in the agency business. So it's like a big part of it. It's like doing the work. So that's what they're lacking at the moment.
That sounds like a fundamental skill for someone in your position. It's like essential.
So in your background, like, from where you are in Brazil, making it to Germany, it's probably not like an easy route. Yeah? Like you have to be quite talented in that, right?
Oh, I was very focused. Determined, and I basically eliminated all distractions from my life for maybe more than a year. I just focused on developing my portfolio, and nothing else. And it paid off. It paid off. Yeah. I sold my car, I sold all my belongings, moved to Germany. And stay, I think I had money to rent this place in I think actually it was in France for 5 months, 5 or 6 months. After that, all the money that I gathered throughout all my life would run out, and I have to find a plan B. But those, I rent this place in France, and for all those months, I grinded in my portfolio, looking for jobs in the game industry. 4 months in, I got the job in Germany. But it takes it all. If you really want something and you want to really be good at something, it takes it all. You need to. Yeah.
So what would be your trade? Like, are you like an engineer? Or would you be like you'll be very good at math engineer kind of thing as well.
In the gaming industry, you mean?
No, not so much like what's your, do you know, like your field? Like what would be your like talent kind of thing? Like the discipline that you studied.
So I graduated in game design, and in game design we learn all different types of game mechanics, what make games fun, but also how to create a business, the fundamentals of design as a whole. Um,
Yeah.
a lot about art direction, programming. So basically, all those elements that are necessary to start a game company, to work in a gaming company, how to release a game. So all of those things, that's what I learned.
Like even like coding, like different languages, different like coding languages, that kind of thing as well. I know. Like look at your face, you know, you don't want to say you're a coder because there's real coders out there, or whatever. But like you know a lot about it, yeah. If you're creating prototypes
Yeah,
and
and
portfolio,
it's not my how to say, the thing that I'm best at, but I code small games. But let's be honest, Jeremy, today with ChatGPT, it's I don't need to code at all. I just use AI.
I feel you. So going back to my thread, or why I started asking about this, is that you say, well, it sounds like it's fundamentals that you have to be there doing the work. But the thing is, like in my industry, there's a lot of posers, man. It really is, bro. Like I don't like talking down on my thing. Like there's no degrees, dude. You just wake up with a laptop, you know, you say, oh, I'm in marketing now. There's some YouTube tutorial videos, and there you go. You can just start, you know, you become, that's it. So it's if you can secure some jobs and you're in the industry, which is very different to your thing. That's what I'm trying to say. So I have a lot of respect for engineers and coders, and you know, even people that say, you know, they don't really code much. Oh, they code. They know what they're doing. And in digital marketing, I tell you how low level we are, right? You're talking about, you know, adding snippets to websites, like tracking from analytics, Google Analytics 4, or linking some, you know, injecting some JavaScript, and no idea. Like it stumps 90% of us.
Wow.
That's the level. You know what I mean? So that's also just on that point as well. That's also the gap in the industry. The people who knows how to do all that stuff, they don't hang around marketing. They're not wasting 4 years for some, you know what I mean? Because it's dead end work, right? And then the people who don't know any of that stuff, they're better at, you know, like people who are better at presenting, people who are better at selling, kind of marketing themselves. So there's a huge gap in that kind of work. There's a lot of apps around tracking and you know, tracking user behavior, pixels, and things like that. Yeah. Just so you know. Yeah.
Oof.
Mm.
That sounds shady. I know what you mean. How with the shady.
Yeah.
But man, how can
Yeah.
you be a poser if at the end of the day you need to bring the results, right? You need to have the infrastructure. You also have like employees, as far as I understand. How can you be a poser if you don't have all of that? You need to have those things in order to prove that you can deliver and actually have a name. How can you fake all of that?
It's a lot of disappointed people. So that's why there's a lot of disappointed customers. That's why the industry has a bad name. Ads online ads industry, has a bad name. So I was thinking about it before coming on. I said, man, because I don't talk to a lot of people from Germany, right? Like, and I don't talk to a lot of people like in the European area because my clients Australia, USA, and England, like UK, some in UK. I just don't know what it is like over there in the industry as well, you know? Probably very different because, you know, the language is very different, the targeting is very different. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's how I pretty much got in, yeah.
Yeah, probably it's completely different, like the humor, all of those things.
Yeah.
So when it comes to online marketing, Google has this Google Ads thing that runs basically everywhere. Is Google like the main one? The biggest
Google,
one?
Yeah, so the Godfather and Godmother would be the Google and Meta.
Google and Meta. Okay.
Google ads in advertising, right? So they're talking about search, YouTube ads, display ads on websites, like banner ads, and the Android scroll. So when you go to the home screen, you go over to the right, there's like a feed like that. Yeah, so that's Google. The biggest money maker for them is definitely the search ads, like when people type something in and it comes out. For Meta, they own Facebook, Instagram, and it's more the scroll. It's all about the scrolling. Yeah. Inserting the one is intent based. Google is more intent based, whereas you are capturing the interest of somebody who's just searching for it, and Facebook is more like distraction based. So you don't really know what you're looking for. You're kind of just scrolling, and then they will show you the ad. Yeah. But that's the only two. Every platform have ads, like TikTok and all. They all have online ads, and we can help all these platforms. But the ones that you can get real money, real return on, is the Facebook, Instagram ads, and the Google ads.
So you work with those guys, basically?
No, they have a platform. So they basically have a platform for you to work, for you to help manage the money. I guess it's a bit like, I'm not sure, I've never done stock trading before, but I guess it's a bit like a broker, where someone gives you the money and you kind of just use it to get them money back. Like by getting them traffic to the website and helping them get those traffic to convert from the website to the sale or to a lead, etc. Yeah. So, and then the next logical question you might ask is why can't people do it themselves? Well, they don't have the nuance. They don't understand the nuances, how to squeeze the most out of the platform.
I see.
If that makes sense.
I think it does make sense because, for example, I have BRUCAST, right? The podcast. I have the Instagram from BRUCAST, and you can promote the page. I tried to promote it a couple of times, and there's so many settings. There's like specific target of group, like geographic position, like time of the day, age. Like there's so many thousands of different settings. Like I have no clue. I just left on all the standard things, like the generic one, and I'm sure if I knew what I was doing, I could, like you said, squeeze better results, but I don't.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So on that example, just say when you try to promote your page, right? So can we talk about that for a second? Just using that example, So you know how all these different knobs, the different options, right? So you wouldn't really know what would be the best for your situation. And if you look online, there is arguments for and against each knob, right? There'll be people saying, yeah, well, that you should do that, you shouldn't do that. And then you don't have time to go through it all, right? But if it was really important to you, like just say your situation on BRUCAST, like you would figure it out because you're a smart guy, engineer, and you can figure it out, right? So you, in your situation, like you wouldn't hire an ads manager to figure it out for you, right? Because you're just starting out and, there's not enough monetary incentive for you to go and hire someone, pay someone $1,000 a month or whatever to manage that for you, right? But if you are selling a product and then you started getting some traction, right? And you were at a stage where, maybe your revenue, maybe say $150,000, $200,000 a year. And you say, oh, you know what? My time's better spent at sourcing more products or extending the line or something like that. Then you might hire someone like me to manage the advertising for you. And then you might know your numbers really well. You say, look, currently I spend, $3,000 on ads every month and the sales add up to about $9,000. And my job would be to make sure that I exceed that, even with my fees included in there. Yeah.
That's so interesting. I have so many more questions. But let's see. The follow question that I have is, let's say I have I'm a company who has a huge budget and want to promote my product. How do you discern which platforms did you focus more? Because there's so many of them. There's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. There's probably Google, there's more than I probably don't know about. So how do you divide that? Is it different for each company, or do you have like kind of a? Go ahead.
Oh no, I fully get your question, and it's a very good one. And basically, it's a mixture. You do a mixture of Google and Facebook, right? Just say you have a big company, and we're not talking about. Let's just say it's not ridiculous, like in the millions, right, of budget. Let's just say that you have a good sized budget, $50,000 a month to spend, right? At that stage, like unless it's VC money, right, you would have already had some type of advertising happening already. Like, so what I'll have to do is go figure out what was working before and where you fell down, right? So inside your Google Analytics 4, I'm going to be able to figure out where your channel is and how it's converting, right? Like, let's just say there's two main parts here. There's services and there's products. Okay. Services is all about the cost per lead, like cost for sniff of a, inquiry kind of thing. Whereas products, it's very simple. It's a sale. It's a purchase. So to answer your question, it'll be a mixture of the two. If the product or the service is very recognizable, as in like people know what they're looking for, it's going to be heavily linked on Google because it's search-based. Because you're basically competing on keywords, you're competing on like voice queries, and nowadays AI inquiries. So that's where you're going to be, right? But if something that's novel, that's quite new, that's a concept, or it's like something like a bit funny, then you'll be majority of the money will go to Facebook, Instagram, because you get the shock factor. You get the, oh, okay. And then people click through. And then Google will follow up with a little bit of search because they're looking for your brand. They're kind of now more aware of what they're looking for. And then you capture that intent on Google.
I see.
If that makes sense. So it's a mixture of both. And then it's very fluid because as you figure it out, you design a strategy. I use that word very carefully because everyone's a strategist and no one likes to execute. So the strategy, and you propose it, and then when you're executing, you figure out whether your hypothesis was correct or not, and you adjust lifetime, in real time, like day by day, whether or not something's converting at the target level, and then you say, okay, cool, I didn't think about that, and you move it around. Yeah.
That's so interesting. So
yeah, that's what you would do. Yeah.
You need to have something. You need to know your client first. Otherwise, it's hard. Like that's the first step, and what the client is already investing, which routes he's already taking, and then see what's working. You assess the situation. Got it. And if it's novelty, it's more Instagram, TikTok, and if it's some product that is more established, it's Google.
Yeah. Also, to talk about TikTok, I think there's few things. So the client part, that part wouldn't be that difficult for established business, right? They will know. They say, look, we are females over 40 who's had this and that happen in their life. This is what they're kind of looking for, right? So when you're talking about Facebook, Instagram, a lot of that is video ads, video advertising, which means you need a front man, like you need somebody like an ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because if you are like a boring dude, or how it is in the gaming industry, right? There's probably people that's they're not very good at camera, but they're very good at back-end stuff. But you have to sell the sizzle. Yeah. So if you don't have the person in front, your business doesn't have like an ambassador, or if the founder's not very, very charismatic, what kind of ads they're going to do? They don't want to be doing those type of ads. So it's also, as I'm talking to them, I'm assessing what their capabilities are.
Dude.
And that's why UGC does so well.
You're totally...
So UGC is a huge...
So sorry, go ahead. UGC?
Yeah, user-generated content. So it's like, in the game of e-commerce and all that, it's all like unboxings and people trying stuff. That does so well because the founders or what's internally inside the business is not very capable in the area of generating ongoing content, right?
I see. Yeah. UGC, that's huge in the game industry for sure. There's so many YouTubers that...
Even the game industry?
Yes.
Really? Oh.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know. Yeah, I didn't think about it. Yeah.
There's so many YouTubers that get paid just to play the game and share their thoughts and
And there was, yeah, yeah, that's true. Actually, I didn't think about that because if you have like a concept of a release or something, that yes, UGC, yeah, yeah, there is a lot of UGC. Actually, I didn't think about that.
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not from your world. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, cool.
I know that the hugest, the biggest game companies out there, they also they're a little bit nuts. I think some of them have way too much money. They just invite a bunch of those YouTubers to travel together and go through an experience together and do different activities. Like I think the
Yeah.
most famous one, the one that I have in mind right now, is for Far Cry 5.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
on Far Cry 5 was all about this cult, religious cult, where the guy went nuts studying the Bible, and they gave, that's the game lore, and he gave
Yeah.
guns to all the attendees at the church. Like anyway, that's the game. And then the company behind it actually invited the YouTubers to go to a farm in the middle of the US, like real for real.
Right.
And they had like an actor
Yeah.
dressed as the cult leader and giving his
Yeah,
speech.
yeah.
And just to
Yeah.
as a way of promoting the game, right? So that's way beyond the scope we're talking
it.
here, right?
Yeah, no, I love it. That's, you know, what you're talking about is like the more exciting part of marketing, right? That's the ideation. That's where people sit in a room. That's where people come up with these ideas and they get excited and they kind of flesh it out a bit and all that. So that's the part that's unfortunately not what I'm doing, but that's really what that's the exciting part of it, you know? Different personality altogether, people that does that. And what you just said, it's a brilliant idea. What a brilliant piece of marketing, you know, because seriously, like it's so expensive to advertise. Like if you want to reach the people that they wanted to reach, that group of YouTuber is the people, bro. You know what I'm saying? That was it. Because they're going to take it back. They're going to bring their own cameras and they're going to, you know, try to outdo each other with the content. So they're going to act up at those farms and all that. And then they're going to bring it back to their own audience with their own flair on it, right? So we didn't even have to go and create all their content because that's expensive to come up with all of that. And then, you know, it's going to look a bit contrived and try to push it out through advertising, which is hella expensive. They just saved a lot of money by doing that.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I have it in my mind to this day. As I think you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the best advertisements are the ones that you remember 10, 20, 30 years from now, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So people that create that kind of thing, that's what they build their career on. That's legendary stuff, dude. You know, because that's how they're going to get the next job. They say, oh, we created that. So that was my idea, you know. Yeah.
Jeremy, talking about advertisement, we need to go into a quick sponsor break and we're going to be right back. All right. Parents, have you been searching for an app that's both fun and educational for your kids? I've got something exciting to share with you today. It's called FunTastic Plus. FunTastic Plus is a free app where education meets entertainment, designed specially for children ages 2 to 12. It's built by experts, completely ad-free and totally safe, so you can feel confident handing your phone or tablet to your little ones. Inside the app, kids will find a world of engaging content, their favorite cartoons, audiobooks and songs to spark imagination, educational games that make learning fun, and all of that to keep them entertained while supporting their development. FunTastic Plus is available on iPhones and iPads and even works offline, so whether you are on a road trip, flying, or just at home, your kids will always have something to enjoy. So if you're ready to give your kids a space that's both fun and educational, download now FunTastic Plus for free on the App Store. FunTastic Plus is a safe and ad-free educational platform for kids. Link on the description below. All right, and we're back. Thank you so much, FunTastic Plus, for being the channel sponsor. Guys, go check it out. FunTastic Plus is an amazing app. It's for kids, though. So anyway, Jeremy, we're back.
Yeah, cool.
Did it do a good job promoting the app? I don't know.
Yeah. I think you do a great job, dude. Yeah, it's been great just chatting to you, just understanding more about your stuff as well, you know. And so you're part of the thing as well. So did you end up promoting the page? Because that stuff's expensive too, right? Like you kind of just put a few dollars out there, you know, on the internet. You know, the thing that you were talking about, how you were promoting, you were clicking around to see if you can promote the Instagram page. So did you end up going through with it?
Yeah, I did. I picked all the standard options though, and
Yeah.
I'm 1 second. I'm getting a lot of feedback from you again. Did you guys? We're gonna go into the sponsor. In the break, you're gonna be right back. Okay, we're back. I think it's fixed. Test. Yeah, it's all right. Jeremy, is it possible? Oh yeah, going back to Instagram, right? We're talking about Instagram. So I did a thing. I promoted everything with the standard options. It worked. I mean, I got some new followers. I got some new views, and I was like, good enough. But I'm like walking in the dark, right? It's
What kind of like where you taking this thing? Like what kind of audience are you looking to talk to, etc.?
on Brewcasts.
Yeah, like what type of audience are you trying to curate? Because you know, eventually, I think, just in my eyes, I think eventually you become more and more narrow, right? You become more like directed at a certain type of people, and then the guests become more kind of like in a certain type of basket kind of thing. I would imagine. I don't know. I don't have a podcast. I've never been on one except yours. So yeah, and I'd just love to hear your idea on that.
Yeah, you're right. That's usually what happens, right? Uh,
Yeah,
but
I think so, yeah.
what I noticed with the channel is that there's a lot of videos that I do on relationship topics or how to get over your ex or best how to identify red flags or how to live a more healthy and fulfilling relationship with our partner. I noticed that a lot of those videos they generate a lot of views, but
Yeah. Okay.
that's actually an accident because I'm going for all topics. Like we talked about Joe Rogan at the beginning. I really like Joe Rogan's approach because it's fun. You always have something new to talk about. Like I would not be learning about online ads right now if I did not had you in here. Even though I get a lot of views on the relationship stuff, I like to cover always. I like to talk about aliens a lot, for example. That's games.
Yeah.
So
Rogan very much alike. So no, it's good. Yeah. Do you get a lot of people like pitching about AI and all of that?
A lot of them. Yeah.
Bro, like you're in the industry, dude. Like you know how advanced it is. Like seriously, like if someone comes to you talking about AI and Bitcoin and crypto, like you know what I mean? Like you're deep in technology. So do you ever stop them and be like, actually, bro, that's not true? Like, do you ever correct them on your podcasts?
Usually I don't try because I let the audience do the discernment for themselves. Like I'm not here to create conflicts. I'm not here to fight anyone. I'm just here to have fun conversations, learn something along the way. Maybe the audience learns something along the way. If someone is like just bullshitting, is like dude, get out of here. It's okay. You know, like my rule of thumb, it's very easy, Jeremy. I just don't invite them back. That's all.
Okay, that's it.
People that
That's what it is. Yeah.
that I like, invite them back. People that I don't like,
Yeah.
and we talk
Yeah.
about promotion, right? I'm also start playing around with the promotion on YouTube. I don't promote their videos, so I'm literally I'm shaping the direction of my channel.
Yeah, no, and I'm very excited because I'm watching the stuff, right, for coming on as a good guest should do, I guess, in a normal world. Like you should watch some stuff, you should figure out what the host is about. And it's like the topics are very diverse. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say some stuff, but I'm like, this guy must get bored sometimes, right? Like listening to, people like, this guy can't be interested in all these topics, like, so yeah, no, I was like quite fascinated. That's why when we first started talking, that's the first thing I started talking to you about. I said, what are you into? Like, what's your background? Because you didn't say a lot in a lot of these podcasts. Yeah.
No, I'm glad you like it. I have a lot of fun doing it as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's great, man. Yeah, cool.
But so when it comes to advertisement, I'm using the generic YouTube promotion thing, the generic Instagram promotion thing.
Yes.
As a beginner.
Yeah.
Is that the way to go?
Definitely not. Definitely not. So in your kind of situation, you gotta check. Yeah, it's not good. I think, look, those platforms have to make money, and I think in terms of, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep going back to these marketing terms. Like, how you're like a rabbit, a gazelle, or a whale. So I don't know how it's equivalent in gaming. So basically, you get your really big kind of B2B kind of thing, maybe enterprise level, and they're your whales, and then you get your like power users, which are probably your gazelles, and then you get a little, free subscribers and, buy kind of thing like rabbits. So they have to capture all the audience, right? So someone like you who dabbles in it, who spends a few dollars here, you have like a low priority on the food chain. So your money is kind of not really going anywhere. So you end up getting the bad, the rest. Like, just imagine like a newspaper in the prime position for ad, right? Like your little dollars wouldn't be going to there. You will be little side street kind of thing. Like that's where you're. So, but to answer your question, what you should be doing, in my opinion, is really try to gather lists where you're able to communicate to them, which is emails, DMs, text messages. Right. So that's the area of focus if you were really serious and this was like a real thing for you. Yeah. Then it gets serious. It's not fun anymore, but like that's where you will do. You will work on campaigns that captures emails, newsletter signups, live messages like DMs kind of game. And you would put a few things together where you would like put together a membership, maybe Substack. You'll bring your thoughts together, talk about that. And that's when we're talking about monetizing the podcast or the business. Because then you'll be able to go out there and say, we have, 3,000 subscribers who are fully into VR gaming, right? And then the sponsor will look at that and say, okay, so what's your watch rate? How long do people watch the video? Then you'll be able to get that monetized. And they'll be able to slip something inside there, because that's when it's the one-on-one communication happens again.
Okay.
So to answer your question, in a short answer is that you would utilize advertising to do more email capture campaigns, lead magnets, download this, give me an email, I'll send you this. And then your whole goal is all about the open rate and the click-through rate for those emails. Because that's where the money's going to be when you actually package this up and you start selling to the bigger players, getting the idea to the bigger players.
But let's assume that I'm trying to promote the podcast. So I would DM people with my podcast channel, and I will try to get email from people to send them emails about my podcast YouTube channel. Is that the case?
See, that's a thing where it's. I might say some stuff, and you might not agree with it, right? I'm just going to be over say stuff. that's when, if you had a really targeted, honed in kind of audience, it's easier because you can say, hey, I got this guest coming. The guy that created the game, you should go talk, like, he's coming.
Got it.
Oh, he's coming. So that is just, you know what I mean? Because now the audience might see it through YouTube. They go, oh yeah, there's BRUCAST again. And they just read the title, but it's like relationship stuff. They say, oh man, I'm okay on relationships. Do you know what I mean? Like, so they're not, you know, they're not the diehard. And it's okay to be scattered once in a while, but you need a diehards.
I know exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that way you have something to talk to them about, and then we can break it down to little buckets. So one thing you might talk about stuff that's been developed, right? Like you have 4 buckets because you can't keep emailing about the same thing, right? It gets dry, it gets boring. So one thing maybe it's about games getting developed. The second thing is what you've been working on this month, your pet projects, you know, or something to do with a little bit out there. You know, you always, you know, be diverse and interview a female developer every once in a while. You know, you might, you know, quote some stuff from, you know, Silicon Valley or whatever, like a TV show, whatever, just to be, you know, part of the culture and all that. That's what your emails will be about. But to get them in, you need a hook to even get them into your list building, basically, which is a huge thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow, that makes totally sense. It's like I heard this phrase once: "The rich is in the niche."
The riches in the niche. Yeah.
Ever heard that? Yeah.
Yeah. You have to. Yeah, it's not like, to keep it 100% real with you. Like you probably wouldn't have much fun at that stage because you're not talking to all these diverse people, right?
I would go crazy, I think.
Yeah.
Imagine just talking about the same thing all the time. That's not for me.
Yeah.
Like the reason why I enjoy the podcast so much is because it's diverse. So
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
and I guess if it generates some revenue, it's fine. But the primarily goal for me is to enjoy what I'm doing, to get to know more people, to talk to different people, and eventually I'm creating some value to the audience as well, which is great. And subscribe.
Yeah. Sub, man, click the button. Yeah, no, for sure. No, I think it's great. Like if I don't have one, but if I was gonna do a podcast, I would do it just like your style. Yeah, because I think that like talking about the same topics over and over, it will get dry and it will be like not. I feel like it wouldn't be that authentic after a while. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Jeremy,
Yep.
is it possible for a product or a brand to actually grow and develop and be the best, let's put it that way, without any kind of ad behind it, any kind of ad supporting them?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a miracle, basically, right? Sorry, go ahead. I cut you.
No, for sure. I mean, the best audience that you're going to get is always going to be organic.
Okay.
Right. So the difference between, you're talking about like your business, whether it's a product or a service, right? When you go to advertising, it's usually when you've tapped out of your organic kind of referrals and your word of mouth, right? And you're looking to accelerate the growth. That's when you're advertising. The clients who never advertised before, especially in the service business, has a rude awakening when they first advertise, because the quality of the leads they get through organic versus advertising, it's night and day. It is so much like when it's referral based, you know, they're walking around with a wallet out already, a credit card out already. They pretty much want your service already, right? When you're getting cold people, like, you know, in marketing, talking about warm audience and cold audience is someone who's never heard of you before or something like that. So the difference between warm audience and cold audience is night and day. Their attitude, their skepticism, the amount of questions they ask. So what I filter for when I'm working with businesses is how well they're going to be able to do with cold audience, especially if they've advertised before. Because it's like, oh my gosh, we're spending all this money and they can't close deals. Right. So because they're doing whatever they're doing to the warm audience. right? And they get like they get into a shock and they don't know how to handle objections. That's something that we probably have to coach through when that actually happens, which I'm not a very good coach at that kind of area because I'm not very good at it myself. Right. So I'm good at helping bring the leads. But then when it comes to like kind of the convincing bit, like the salesmanship, I like that as well. You know, if someone wants it, they want it. They don't want it, they don't want it, man. That's it. You know, it's, what else is there to talk about? So that's kind of my attitude, which is not the right attitude to have.
Oh,
Especially, aggressive sales. Yeah.
so what would be the right attitude then?
Attitude is about like there's a lot of follow-ups after advertising happens. So a lot of follow-ups, there's so many, like it's almost that part of it is almost like scientific now, like the upsell, downsell, cross-sell, the frequency of follow-ups, how to follow up the message. And you know what AI did? AI like it really flooded the market with a lot of that junk. So now it's like even the good emails are not getting opened. You know what I mean? Because before it was an art before. Like you're talking about the art of copywriting and, tingling, like pulling on people's heartstrings and all that. The AI, man, like there's so much spam these days, bro.
I get like 3 every day at least. I heard that's
Yeah.
a very low number. I have friends who get like hundreds.
Yeah. It's bad. So it's like it's all washed out. Like when the I don't know how off we're going topic, but that's okay. We'll see where this takes us. Like when there's like Canva and everything made everything accessible.
Yes.
You just ended up making like creatives kind of worse. They just flooded the market with a lot of junk. So even the better ones are not even standing out anymore because how easy it is. So that's the same thing when it comes to in the world of email and advertising. So, copywriting used to be an art, and now like you just type in ChatGPT, also give me 10 different, versions of this, and they'll just spit it out. So people tend to read less and less now.
Yeah.
So you got to get their attention quicker. The attention span's shrinking even more from this stuff.
You know who got it right, in my opinion, from the beginning? Japan. If you see the TV commercials from Japan, even from like 10 years ago, they're so intense and crazy. Everything's like over the top. And I once researched it. Why? And it's because of exactly what you said. They want to grab someone's attention. They want to stand out. And they've been doing that forever.
Yeah. I've been to Japan. I'm actually going to Japan in about 2 weeks. But yeah, no, it's very cool culture. Yeah, very, very, very interesting stuff. Now, I haven't thought about it that way. I haven't really looked at it that way because I guess my stuff is so online, and we're not part of the production of the advertising. If that makes sense, like it's very toned down. You know what I mean? Like that Far Cry example you gave, like those kind of talent, like they're in the productive and the visionary side of things, right? Whereas what in the online advertising world, it's more about the number because the UGC don't cost a lot to create, but you have to have a lot of them to advertise. Like variation, like you're not going for the one big idea. You're very fast iterating along a lot of small ideas. Yeah.
Jeremy, do you use AI in your process in any way?
We use it to help like correct the copywriting part of it, or to do customer research. Use a lot of that. We use a lot of AI to make things faster, like the competitor research bits. Yeah. So right now, it's a huge market in marketing, and it's kind of replacing a lot of low level jobs. Right. But I heard something about AI, and my high end IT friend was telling me that it's like what you were saying before about using it for code. Right. It's good to, like, how do I say it? They can get it to a stage, but then if you continue to ask to improve, it's very hard for it to walk back to the original state. I don't know what the terminology, there's a word for it. Is that true? Is that still the case?
I think I would say the term is context. At some point, the AI, the chatbots start losing context of the whole code because it's so big and there's so many different, like you don't code an app or a game in a single
Yeah.
file. There's hundreds of files, and at some point it just stop losing connection between, like, it doesn't know what's going on. The context is just too big for the AI
Got
to
you.
understand. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm finding some workarounds. What I'm
Yeah.
starting, so there's this app that
Yeah.
that's called Cursor. That's the
Yeah,
one
yeah, we use it.
you use it.
We use it too. Yeah, we use it because my people are not very good at writing code themselves.
So
Yes.
pro tip that I don't know if it's a pro tip, is something that I learned by myself and start doing recently, is
Yeah.
every time that I start a new chat is like, get familiar with this part of my app for no reason, and then he does it, and then I say,
Oh.
yeah, and then the following, for example, I have two different features that I need to connect or work together. I tell tell Cursor, get familiar with this feature for no reason, then I tell them get familiar with this other feature for no reason, and then I say, and then my third prompt is like, now that you have the context for those two things, do that. And this has been working well for me.
Okay. Oh wow, I did. Yeah, well, that's really interesting. I'll tell my guys that. I'll let you know how they go with that. Now, but in terms of, I think AI in marketing, I think a lot of people are trying to promote the idea of implementing AI for small businesses, right? But I think what they're really promoting, and I wrote a whole little article about it. I think what they're really promoting is automation. I don't think there's any AI, because AI really is about, learning and feeding the data and figuring things out themselves, right? Like if I was a tradie and I was going to do, 5 jobs every day, it's supposed to figure out my best routes, right? I should be able to order the stuff for me that I'm about to run out, preemptively. And that's not what they're promoting. I think they're calling AI, but it's really just automation. It's like just, like a diary entry, or, like what you done, like, how I got an email 15 minutes before with a password and everything. I think they're calling that AI because, something's getting done. Yeah, that's bro, that's marketing, man. Like people here are primitive, bro. We're not engineers. That's what I mean. Like we'll call anything, dude. Yeah.
Do you remember when the Olympics happened? They developed those mattresses for the athletes in Paris so they could sleep in. And the mattress was divided in 3 sections, and you could choose with the firmness, that's how you say, how firm, which section of the mattress could be. If you were an athlete, if you're going to Paris to compete. And oh my God, you're like, this whole mattress was designed with AI, and it's going to analyze your body with AI. And I was listening to this whole thing, like, it's just marketing bullshit. What are you talking about? It's just how firm the foam is. That's all. There's no AI.
That's exactly right, man. That's exactly right. That's why I have so much respect for people like you who are engineers, who came out properly, came out the right way and competed in a real thing. Nah, it's and I'm almost surprised that some of you guys have imposter syndrome. Because if anyone should get imposter syndrome, it's marketers. Because we really have not much idea what we're talking about a lot of the time. Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, man, what a pleasure. So for those who don't know, you're the CEO of a company, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of the company?
We run a good business out here in Sydney. We help businesses with the advertising. If they need it, they can visit the website at digitalgoliath.com.au. I'm more interested in getting on more podcasts at the moment. So if you have connections, or if anybody's watching this and they'd be like, oh, I'll have him as a guest, yeah, man, get in touch. Go to the website, get in touch. We definitely, chat even more.
Beautiful. We're going to leave your link in the description. Do you have any final remarks?
No, it's just been a real pleasure, man. Thanks for having me, dude. Thanks for accepting it and, having a chat. I learned a lot from you as well today. So it's great.
Perfect. Me too, man. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye. And Happy New Year. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. If it's your first time watching the show, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rank the show 5 stars. This will ensure that the podcast is recommended to even more people and allow me to keep doing what I love. Check out now the BRUCAST store, Explore store, filled with awesome goodies from hoodies to t-shirts to mugs. We've got you covered. Stay in style with BRUCAST. Embrace the shock, set the trend. Buy now at brew-cast.com/store. Again, that's brew-cast.com/store. Link on the description below. Be a BRUCAST model and get free stuff. We'd love to see how you and your loved ones enjoy BRUCAST. Snap a picture of yourself, your family, your friends, or even your pets wearing BRUCAST merch, or watching an episode of the show, and send it to us and become part of BRUCAST. We will feature you and your pictures at the end of every episode, just like the ones you're seeing on the screen right now. You can upload your pictures at brew-cast.com/contact or tag us on social media. Alright everyone, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye bye.